Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, today is Monday, September 27th, and you're watching to another episode of Engine Room, a podcast by Token Metrics. My name's Dylan Love, and I am joined, just as I am every Monday, by Mr. Jacob Koch-Gallup. He's our market research analyst. Jacob, good day to you, sir.
Yeah, good morning. Good Monday. How are you doing?
Hanging right in there. We've got no shortage of news to get through today, and I kind of want to throw it over to you to basically jump right in. I think of all the stuff we've been talking about so far, the most interesting to me personally is about this once former lead Ethereum developer, Virgil Griffith. What do we need to know about him pleading guilty to a conspiracy charge in a North Korea sanctions case?
Yeah, so he was actually charged with violating sanctions law by giving a cryptocurrency and blockchain presentation at a North Korean conference in 2019. So he pleaded guilty to one charge of conspiracy to violate the International Emergency Economic Powers Act on Monday, which is today, in a New York courthouse. So he decided to do a plea deal, and this could see him serve between 63 and 78 months in prison, and he's going to receive his sentence in January 2022.
That's bonkers, man. So
Yeah.
I don't know how long his presentation was, maybe 1 hour maximum. But for a 1 hour presentation delivered to North Koreans, he might be serving a minimum of 5 years and 3 months in prison. That's kind of crazy to me.
Yeah, it's interesting that he even agreed to go to North Korea and give a presentation. I mean, I think that's one
Yeah,
of the most
I'd love to
interesting
know.
parts.
I'd love to know what was in this guy's head when he said yes and then actually followed through on plans to, educate the North Koreans about this stuff of his expertise.
I mean, I get education for all, but when there's that many sanctions, when the stuff that's going on in North Korea that the North Korean government is doing, I don't know if that would be, I would be like, hooray, let's go to North Korea and give a presentation. As much as I love crypto and love to talk about it, I don't know how I would feel about that.
Sure, sure. Well, we know he'll be sentenced in January 2022, so we'll be staying tuned for the final details on just how much time this guy will have to serve for what seems in hindsight to be a pretty obviously poor decision.
Yeah.
Speaking of overpowered governments that do whatever they want, we got to continue talking about China a little bit. So,
Yeah.
China last week, it seems like it was the final capitulation of actually saying, "Hey, we don't want anybody doing anything with crypto in our country." They've banned, quote unquote, banned crypto to varying degrees, like 7, 8, or maybe even 9 times in the past. But this last week, they came outright and said all crypto activity is illegal. And now, today, we have news that they're actually following through on that and turning Bitcoin miners into proper criminals. So, what's the deal with the second largest Ethereum mining pool suspending all operations in China?
Yeah. So this was launched in China in 2018. It's called Spark Pool. They control 22% of Ether's hash rate, and that's second only to Ethermine. And this mining pool officially announced today, September 27th, that they've suspended access to all new users in mainland China in response to the Chinese authorities initiating these new bans against crypto adoption. And this also comes as other cryptocurrency exchanges like Binance and Huobi have subsequently suspended new account registrations from mainland China. But interesting, but they're still servicing users in Hong Kong. So I think we're going to continue to see these crackdowns on all mainland China cryptocurrency companies. And I think this ban is the harshest yet. I mean, like you said, there's been 7, 8, or 9 bans previously, but it seems like they're really, really trying to take this one serious now, just with the amount. I mean, I saw that there was 10 organizations who signed on the bill to ban crypto, which last time the most that signed on the previous bills were 7. So they're adding more organizations, the People's Bank of China and other organizations like that, agreeing we need to ban crypto in China.
Yeah, it's kind of a fascinating decision, this idea that, China, a country that the US is literally in a trade war with,
Yeah.
would decide, hey, we don't want anybody innovating on financial technology because it might pose a threat to our own plans for our own state crypto. There were a number of people last week, Michael Saylor, Bill Barheit, the CEO of Abra, a bunch of people were saying there is a lot of money to be made by investing in technologies that China has made illegal.
Yeah.
So if look no further than the modern internet, for example. China has a very, very watered down version of the internet with no free access to Wikipedia, highly restricted Google searches, and so on. Obviously, we know there's lots of money to be made by investing into companies that serve the internet like that. And now it seems we have one more example of them saying, hey, all crypto is illegal unless it's our specific crypto, this the state government. So
yeah, I mean, we saw data showing that 7 days after previous crypto bans going back since 2013, there was, I think it was a negative 7% return. Up to 90 days after the bans, we were seeing negative returns. But I think it was, or no, excuse me, it was 7 and 30 days, it was negative returns. But once it was 90 days after the crypto ban, then we were seeing positive returns in Bitcoin. So it may have short-term negative effects on crypto price, but the long term, Bitcoin's going to keep going up. Other crypto is going to keep going up, keep moving on, and this is not going to stop it.
Yeah. So if we have China at one end of the spectrum saying all crypto is flat out illegal, we got to give a little update on El Salvador, which exists distinctly at the opposite end of the spectrum, where Bitcoin is not only fully legal, but its use is being encouraged by the government. Every El Salvadoran got I think $30 worth of Bitcoin,
yeah.
And the president has been buying the dip and winning himself all kinds of publicity for his tweets to that effect. We know that there is a not state sponsored, but there's like a what's the word I'm looking for, Jacob? The government wants them to use Chivo,
yeah,
a specific
the
wallet.
Government-backed Chivo crypto wallet.
And there's new data that says 1/3 of the population of the country is actively using this crypto wallet. So Jacob, can you unpack this for us a little bit?
Yeah, well, so the new data comes from the Salvadoran president, Nayib Bukele, who claims that 2.1 million of his citizens are using Chivo, the government-backed crypto wallet in El Salvador, which is showing some success of Bitcoin in the country. I mean, we've seen this has been super controversial. President Bukele claims that Chivo now has more users than any bank in El Salvador, just after 3 weeks of it getting launched. It was launched September 7th. But it's weird because that's what we're hearing from him. But then also we're seeing in the cities all the protests. Last week, there was a burning of a crypto kiosk. A Chivo ATM was burned. Thousands of people of El Salvadorans are going in the streets protesting Bitcoin. So it's interesting that, yes, we are seeing this data. I don't know how reliable that is because it was tweeted from the president himself. But if it is true, then maybe we're only seeing the extreme part of it, of people taking the streets, burning ATMs, and maybe the 1/3 of the rest of the country are actually adopting Bitcoin and having their Chivo wallet with the $30 already airdropped to them.
Right. That does make some sense to me, that we would only hear about the extreme edge cases of people, rioting in the streets and protesting mandatory Bitcoin adoption. It's the even-tempered, middle-of-the-road folks that don't make any headlines. The guy's like, crypto, yeah, this is cool. I guess I'll start buying my Starbucks with this now. Yeah, that's not a compelling headline, which might be why we're not hearing it. At the same time, we don't need to rehash old episodes of this podcast, but there's a lot of reasons to be suspicious of El Salvador's Bitcoin adoption. There's a documented connection between the president's administration and people who are in El Salvadoran jails. So, it's kind of, as I'm watching all this stuff where, the famous critique of cryptocurrency is that it's only for criminals. Well, here we have a presidential administration mandating Bitcoin adoption, and he has a documented connection to criminals. So who knows?
Yeah.
Guys, the name of this podcast is Engine Room. You can watch us on YouTube. You can subscribe to the Token Metrics YouTube channel. Give this video a like, leave us a comment. We are eager for your feedback on what you want this podcast to become. So you can always just leave us a comment in the YouTube video or tweet at us, Dylan Love on Twitter, or shoot us an email, dylan@tokenmetrics.com. We are here for you. We are here to help you filter signal from noise in the very noisy world of crypto.
Yep.
Maybe you're listening to us on your favorite audio podcasting platform. At any rate, we're glad you're here. What else we got here, Jacob? We got what's this Morgan Stanley news all about?
Yeah, so that's, I think, more funny news. But so a Morgan Stanley executive kind of compared Bitcoin to Kenny from South Park. He's the Kenny from South Park of money. So if our viewers don't know Kenny from South Park, in South Park, it's a very crude animated show. And in about every episode, one of the main characters, Kenny, dies. But
and also no one knows what he's actually saying.
True. Yeah, true. And then every next episode, Kenny is magically back alive. He's resurrected from the day. So the Morgan Stanley executive is claiming that Bitcoin continues to rise from the dead, just like the cartoon character Kenny in South Park. So it was kind of a lighthearted analogy. And he actually said this during a Morningstar's yearly investment conference. And he's saying this because he's saying Bitcoin has an insatiable ability to defy the odds, rise from both technical and fundamental adversity, and which is similar to the South Park cartoon character.
Yeah, I mean, we can only quote Michael Saylor. It's the hardest money that's ever existed in the history of mankind.
Yeah.
You can't kill it. You can't, the same way you can't turn off the internet. You can't turn off Bitcoin and related cryptocurrencies. So now let's talk about Cardano. It's the fourth largest cryptocurrency by market cap. And they've got some exciting partnerships with Dish Network and Chainlink in the works. Why don't you break it down for us?
Yeah, so this was announced just over the weekend that Cardano, which, like you said, is it fourth or third market cap?
I think it's fourth right now.
Okay. Yeah. So Cardano, which is also an Ethereum blockchain rival, the Ethereum killer, as people like to call it. Anyway, so they partnered with the TV and wireless service provider Dish Network. And the reason why they're partnering is because they're going to help Dish integrate the Cardano blockchain into their telecom business and help provide digital identity services to Dish customers. So this is also similar to what Cardano is doing in Ethiopia by also providing decentralized identity services to students in Ethiopia and to teachers, and hopefully they can then bring their Cardano digital identity into the real world after they graduate from their school. This is similar to what they're doing with Dish. Then they're going to provide these identity services. I'm imagining it's similar to maybe having a QR code with all the information about your account, your billing, your address, your service plans. So it's really just to streamline that. And they're also said that they're partnering with Chainlink to help Cardano developers build smart contracts for secured DeFi applications. So Cardano is, I mean, I've seen a lot of back and forth on Cardano. There's some Cardano lovers, some Cardano haters, people saying Cardano should not be in the top 5 market cap when they just rolled out smart contracts. They don't have any major partnerships. They're not battle tested, but like Ethereum, but they've been working on their blockchain, on their smart contracts for years. And personally, I'm invested in Cardano. I believe in the team. Yes, they're pre-actual applications, but like we're seeing here, they're having great partnerships. They're partnering with Dish Network and Chainlink, partnering with the government of Ethiopia. So there's a great future to look forward.
There's a lot to love about Cardano, not the least of which is the founder Charles Hoskinson, who is an Ethereum co-founder, although these days he very much shuns that label. If you want to make him angry, start calling him the Ethereum co-founder Charles Hoskinson. He wants to be the Cardano founder these days, as is his right. But at any rate, it's worth mentioning that these are really, really smart people, Hoskinson in particular. And while money doesn't necessarily relate to intelligence, this is a guy who just donated $20 million to Carnegie Mellon University to establish the Hoskinson Center for Formal Mathematics. So there's going to be a big fancy building with his name on it, and they're going to be generating very, very, very smart people out of Carnegie Mellon.
Yeah.
And at the same time, there's Emergo, which is the commercial and venture capital arm of Cardano, which has just put $100 million into an effort to boost DeFi, NFT, and blockchain educations around the world on how people can use Cardano to solve problems. This is an exciting blockchain to watch. The secret's out at this point. Cardano is probably here to stay, but as for this label of it being an Ethereum killer, well, we'll just have to wait and see. I don't think anything's going to kill Ethereum. I think there's enough room in the house for everybody to have a good night's sleep.
I completely agree.
Well, I think that'll do it for this Monday episode of Engine Room. Why don't you join us on Wednesday when we have the rest of the team here? We'll be picking apart the news, offering some analysis, and just generally here to serve whatever information you guys are after when it comes to crypto. I've been Dylan. That was Jacob. Thanks for joining us.